Aloha everyone, my name is Alessandro and this is the Temple of Surf, the podcast. We'll give you full access to the best surfers, skaters, shapers, surfboard collectors, shop owners in the world. Discover with me their stories, the greatest successes, amazing behind the scenes, and much more. Aloha! Welcome to the 9th episode of the third series of the Temple of Surf, the podcast. I'm so happy to host today the world champion and legend, Mr. Corky Carroll. We discuss about his amazing career, music, future projects, and much more. Hello, Mr. Carroll. Welcome to the show. Where are you today?
I'm great. I'm here in Mexico, Zihuatanejo, where it's 85 degrees and the water's 80 and the surf's pretty good.
Definitely. You know, it's good to be in a place where you can surf and the water is good. So thanks a lot for being on the show with me today. Today we're going to talk about many things, among them surf and music. But I would like to start our interview with the first question. In your opinion, what is the most important thing in surfing?
Well, the most important thing for me is just, it's like, it's everything. Surfing for me for the last, 65, 66 years, it's been everything from a sport, my profession, my livelihood, my blood. But the most important thing probably is just that it's so fun. It's an outlet where you can go out and have a total release and just have a good time and get everything else off your mind.
Yeah.
And at this time in this world, it's a good thing to be able to go out and have a release and get everything off your mind because everything's too crazy on the beach. Better be in the water.
Yeah, definitely. You're in straight contact with nature, and that releases all the thoughts, right? It
certainly helps.
Natural element. Yeah, definitely. I agree with you. So we have a lot to talk about. Let's talk a little bit about surfboards. What was your first surfboards, and how old you were when you first started surfing? Like, let's say, in a proper way.
Well, the first surfboard I rode was a 100-pound redwood log. In about 1954, 1955, that, a friend of mine had in his backyard. And the two of us kind of walked it out. I lived on the beach. We sort of walked it out to the water because we couldn't pick it up and rode it. And then my first surfboard was a solid balsa wood board I got in 1957. And it weighed 47 pounds and I weighed 44. So it outweighed me by 3 pounds.
Oh my God, you had to be fit in order to carry that thing,
I couldn't carry it. I had to do the same thing. I would pick up the tail and put it in the front. Then I'd pick up the nose and put it in the front. I'd walk it to the water and walk it back up the beach to my house.
It's incredible thinking about today, like a surfboard revolution. Yeah, when the people saying it's a surfboard revolution, it was, right? Going from...
Surfboards have come a long way. I mean, now they're so small and light, you can throw them like a dart.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, from the redwood one, for sure, it's a huge difference. But, I had the opportunity to interview quite a lot of legendary surfers, luckily. And one thing that they were saying to me, for instance, like a few weeks ago, I interviewed Joey Cabell, and he told me, like, Alessandro, we were all shaping our own surfboards at that time because there was no many availability of surfboards, and we knew what we wanted. You were doing that as well, or no?
I shaped some of my boards in the beginning, but I never really liked shaping them much. I liked riding them, and shaping took a long time, and it was a lot of work, and it was dirty. So I shaped some, but then pretty much what I started doing is working with different shapers that I trusted. And I would go in and tell them exactly what I wanted, and I would stand there, and we would talk our way through it. I really never developed the craft to be an expert shaper like some of the other ones. I could knock one out that I could ride, but it didn't look all that great. Joey Cabell, came before me. He's one of the great surfers of all time. I totally respect him. he knew what he was doing.
Definitely, I mean, as you said, shaping is art, right? And you cannot just like pretend and shape a board like maybe it works, but not really like the proper one and shape it with a by a.
Well, my boards that I shaped worked, but they didn't look all that great. A bump here in a valley there, and some foam tear over here. They worked okay.
They were original at least.
I was in a hurry. I wanted to get out of there.
Yeah.
There it is. Glass it. I'll pick it up tomorrow afternoon. I'll drop off a case of beer.
Oh my God.
That's how we bribed the guys in the factory into getting our boards done fast. We'd bring in a case of beer and they'll get our board done in 2 days.
They put on the priority list.
Exactly.
Fantastic. And so then, then as a surfer, when you decided to be like a professional surfer, to run competitions?
When I first started doing well in the competitions, I was very young. And I remember my dad, he was the president of an electrical company. And he goes, "Are you what you thinking about doing, for a living?" "I'm going to surf." He goes, "Well, how are you going to do that?" I go, "I don't know, but I'm going to be a pro surfer," because they don't have pro surfers. And a couple years later, Hobie put me on salary to do nothing but surf. And that kind of made me the first pro surfer. And then I got endorsements from swimwear companies and other companies. And by the time I was 16, I was making as much money as my dad.
Wow.
See, I told you, Dad. Pro surfer is me.
Definitely is at that time it was quite of unusual things, getting paid for surf, right?
Yeah, it was. Well, I think, Hobie paid me to surf so that you keep me out of the factory. He didn't want me messing around with, with tools with sharp instruments and stuff, Thought I was going to hurt myself.
It was a cost of the factory of a surfboard. It's like, okay, like this way we are safe. There is less beer around.
It's safer with less power tools.
Cool. And in your career as a surfer, what do you think was your defining moment?
I don't know. Probably looking back at all the competitions and all that stuff, the one, I guess you call it achievement, that meant the most to me was winning the Surfer Magazine poll. Because that was sort of like being named the best surfer by your peers. And so that kind of meant more to me than winning most of the contests. But it was, it was fulfilling. It was a good way to make a living.
Yeah, definitely.
And surf in a contest and get paid.
What else?
It's not a bad way to do it.
Definitely not. But like people, they refer to you today like one of the legendary surfer. Do you consider yourself a legend?
Well, I think that to reach legendary status, you have to be really old. I'm kind of getting old. I might qualify pretty quick.
Right, you are 73 years young, right?
Anybody that still surfs over 70 has got to be a legend. It starts getting harder, It's like things hurt and ache, and you get a little bit more picky. There was a time I would paddle out no matter what. Blown out, raining, stormy, hardly a wave. Yeah, let's go. Now I'm a little bit more picky. It's got to be better.
Yeah.
Gotta be at least
you can say picky, you can say wise.
More particular. More fine taste.
Exactly. It's like the wine,
Exactly. Got to save the body for the good days.
I like that. But you need, once I was talking with Greg Knoll, for instance, he told me like that definitely is a legend of surf, right? One of them. And he was telling me like, I don't know if I consider myself a legend, because at the end we were only a bunch of guys surfing Waimea at that time, and we were just doing what we liked. So now legend, maybe yes, maybe I am, but I don't know. It was an interesting point of view, right?
Well, I love Greg Null. He's got a great sense of humor. He was around at a really great time in the evolution of surfing when, you could surf big days at Waimea with just a handful of guys out. I remember surfing pipeline in the early days by myself and just wishing somebody else would come out. It'd be big out there, it'd be hairy. And I go, God, I sure wish somebody else would come out. Maybe if I get a good ride, somebody will come out.
Tell the surfers of today, right? They have so much crowded pipeline, right?
Oh, I was looking at a picture on Facebook like a couple of days ago, and there must have been 200 guys out. I mean, it was like, flies on a banana or something. It was unbelievable.
Yes, too many, definitely. And yes, what you're saying is actually very true. I remember in some other interviews that I had is like people really were waiting for like buddies to come to surf, also from a safety perspective, right? Not to surf alone. Something happened, at least you had somebody that could help you.
Yeah, it was much better if you had a couple, friends out there and you could hoot at each other, and it was a little bit more. You felt a little safer.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so you said that about the Surfer magazine recognition that other surfer voted you as like their legendary surfer. But apart of that, what was your best achievement?
Other than winning the Surfer Pole, I was U.S. overall champion 5 times. I won the World Big Wave Championship and the World Small Wave Championship. And I don't know, I won a bunch of stuff. It's so long ago, I don't remember what all of it was. But
for that reason, there too many, right? So maybe the U.S. Championship, I don't know, was something nice. I don't know, something memorable.
Winning the Big Wave Championship in Peru was memorable, and it all kind of blends together. It was just all part of the life for me at that time was being in surf contests and going surfing every day and traveling around to different surf spots and visiting the surf shops that sold the boards that I represented from Hobie at that time. And it was a good life. I'm not complaining. I had a good time. And surfing's really great to me. 73, still surf every day, still get a free board.
Important.
Yeah, they're expensive now.
And over your career, you as a surfer, and then after that you quit like pro competition surfing. You met a lot of personalities of the surf history, right? A lot of important people and surfers. Is there one particular surfer or personality, let's call it like that, that was really dear to you, or that meant quite a lot meeting among the others?
There was a couple. Probably the two most would have been Mike Doyle and Mickey Munoz, because when I was real young, they would drive me around to the surf contest and kind of look out after me and take me on trips. And they had a lot of influence on me growing up. Both of them were amazing, great guys, super good people, very super good sense of humor, both of them. And hanging out with those guys for me when I was really young was like great, because they kept me laughing, they kept me surfing, and they kept me out of trouble. It was, I was kind of a loudmouth, obnoxious brat. I could have easily gotten all kinds of trouble, but they kind of toned me down. I started going off and they just slap me and go, "Shut up, man." Okay, sorry.
My God. Definitely great experiences, right?
A joke or what?
But it's also this sense of humor that for me is like first time I talk to you, but I see that transpires, right? It's I guess it's part of your way of addressing life, no? It's a positive way, a positive vision.
Well, it feels really good to laugh. It's kind of like I always kind of gravitate towards people with senses of humor, or people that like to laugh. or have a positive attitude rather than real serious negative people. Kind of a downer for me. I like to have a good time and laugh. I think probably if I was born again and didn't surf, I'd go into stand-up comedy. I really like it. When I do music, I try to tell a lot of jokes in between my songs and stuff, and sometimes it works.
Sometimes they think like, oh my God, what he's saying.
Yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you eat the bear, and sometimes the bear eats you.
Yeah,
but if you don't throw it out there, you don't know. So it's you got to be brave enough to risk it. It's like put yourself out there, and at the risk of being humiliated in front of thousands of people.
It's part of the journey, right?
It is part of the journey.
As long as you're not afraid. How do you usually write the lyrics of your songs?
I don't have exactly a set formula, but generally I'll get an idea for a song, a theme, and then I'll kind of think about it for a while, and then sometimes I'll just be driving along or be laying in bed or watching TV, and a clue will come to me, and I'll get a line, and once I get a line going, I can sit down and kind of map out the song, write words and put music to it. And then usually it takes a little bit of refining, and I'll have a song. Like one day I was driving down to the beach, and this big chicken is standing on the side of the road, kind of like sticking its head out and kind of starting to walk out and walk back, walk out, walk back. I look at that chicken, I go, this chicken's trying to commit suicide. It's like an idea came into my head. Oh, suicide chicken. That'd be a great idea for a song. It's kind of like that why did the chicken cross the road thing, So this song actually stuck in my head for about 15 years before I actually finally wrote it. I kept thinking I had the basic thing, suicide chicken. That it took a while for me to actually sit down and write the words to that. But that's kind of how one came. Just this chicken trying to cross the road. And that became a song. And I've recently written one. A friend of mine who loves animals had rescued a dog from the dog shelter, and she said, "Yeah, he was a death row dog." And I went, "Oh, death row dog. There's a song in that." So I just finished a new song called "Death Row Dog."
Oh my God! People should be like behave when they are around you, because everything they say that it could be transformed into a song title, right?
Nothing's safe. I'll never it.
But it's interesting, right? Because anyway, like today, so many songwriters are writing for something that could please people, right? And then in a certain way destroys the creativity of songwriting, right? While if you talk about your personal life, if you're talking about something that happens to you, it's like it's more natural, no? Don't you think? It's
I kind of write songs that feel good to me. Like I feel good when I play them, when I perform them, and you don't get a lot of romantic ballads out of me. I'm more the suicide chicken and death row dog and that kind of thing.
Preparing this interview, I put Spotify and I listened quite a lot of your. Actually, I made all my family listen to them. And it was.
I'm so sorry.
No, actually, it was pretty interesting, because I saw a lot of different style. You go from blues to rock and roll to only like instrumental. So it's quite a great variety. I think I like it, actually. I don't know my wife, if tonight I'm gonna sleep on the couch. Maybe I did ask too much. I'm sure she's gonna like it as well. What was the key learning that you had? Let's say key life learning that you had as a surfer and as well as a musician, if you want to say, a singer.
Well, geez, I guess it's that if you're doing what you like, you're going to do a lot better and enjoy your life better than if you're doing something you don't like. And so, I've tried to pattern my life doing stuff I like to do and not a whole lot of stuff that I didn't like to do. I had a few jobs that I didn't like to do, but I didn't stick with them long because I was just in the process of getting back to doing what I wanted to do. So, I've surfed, I played music. I was a tennis pro for a while. I love playing tennis. I skied and worked, ski patrol and music. I write. I write for the newspaper in California for the last 28 years. I like to write. And so I'm a columnist and written some books. I have a new book, not done yet. It came out not too long ago. And it's available on Amazon or from bluemangosurf.com. That's our surf company. And did a lot of TV commercials, and that was always fun and paid good. And just, didn't get stuck in too many things I didn't really want to do.
But you did quite a lot, huh? You keep yourself busy. That's maybe is the solution, right? Is the secret.
Well, I really love playing music. Still doing it. Still playing out. And the newest album is called Blue Mango, and it's available on Darla Records. You can get it directly. Darla Records are on Amazon either way, or Spotify or Apple Music or wherever you get your music. It's there.
That's good to hear. And you play instruments yourself? You play guitar or?
Yeah, I can play pretty much anything with strings or keys. I'm not a drummer, but I can play guitar and bass and, keyboards and some violin. I play electric violin.
Wow. People cannot stop you, right? You do really quite a lot. Definitely, we listened to Blue Mango. I didn't look. I didn't find it in Spotify, but maybe I didn't look at it like properly. So tonight, yeah. Blue Mango.
That's the name of the album. There's I forget how many songs are on there, like 12. Suicide Chicken's on there.
Definitely is going to be my favorite. Now that I know where it comes from, right? Very interesting. So you're talking about writing books, right? You wrote 3 books so far, or
4.
4. Like the last one is released when? Was released when?
About a year ago. Yeah, just about the beginning of 2020. It's called Not Done Yet. And it's basically an autobiography, which starts the day that I started surfing. And in the day that I stopped writing at about November of last 2019, is when I finished writing. So I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to call it. And a friend of mine, I said, it wasn't quite done. And he goes, what are you going to call it? I go, I don't know. It's not done yet. And he goes, not done yet. That's a perfect title because you're not done yet. Hey, yeah, that is a good title. So it's sort of like an autobiography, but I'm not dead yet, so that's not done yet.
That's the perfect title, in effect.
It could be a part 2.
And all the books were talking about surfing, or you talk about different things? You like to talk about different things, actually.
The first book was called Surf Dog Days and Bitchin' Nights, and it was wasn't really an autobiography, but it was a whole bunch of stories that I wrote about different surfers and my experiences and this, that, and the other thing. And then the next 2 books, they were called Peer Pressure, Peer like Huntington Beach Pier. And they were collections of articles I'd done for the newspaper, columns that I'd written, both of those. And then the new one is actually the autobiography, not done yet.
And what are your future projects? Are you working on something else, particularly right now, or you just like enjoy surfing down in Mexico? What's next?
Okay, here's sort of like where I am right now and what I'm doing. We live here in Mexico, and we have a perfect point break out in front of the house, and we bring people to stay with us on like a week-long surf package. You can book in with all your food, all your drinks, use of boards. I'll coach them if they want. And, we can take from 1 to 6 people at a time. And it's sort of an upscale surf adventure for somebody that wants to be totally taken care of and doesn't want to have to do anything. Get off the plane, we take care of you, feed you, drink you, surf you, stick you back on the plane, hopefully the better for wear. And then I'm still working on music. I play dinner concerts here in Mexico. At least I will when they start letting us do that again. And I'm working on the next album for Darla Records, writing new songs. That's Death Row Dog is one of those. And then I write for the newspaper, the Orange County Register in California. And I have a new surf company called Blue Mango Surf that I started with a friend of mine, Joel Salzman. And we make boards and we make stand-up paddle boards and T-shirts and hats. And, it's a kind of a grassroots surf company. All the boards are handmade in Hermosa Beach, California. And then I, pretty much surf every day. I go out for one wave. It's sort of like my back isn't really good and I've had some heart issues. So I have this one wave a day deal. I paddle out, I get a wave, I ride it to the beach, and I'm pretty good. Unless I eat it, then I have to paddle out and catch another wave until I can actually get one on the way to the beach. But sometimes I sneak in a second one if I'm feeling really good. But just trying to keep surfing.
Yeah, definitely. That's the most amazing thing for all the surfer, right? Never stop. So we're gonna finish our interview with a short Q&A session. So please answer the first thing that comes up to your mind, okay?
Okay.
The best surfboard that you ever ridden?
The best surfboard is the surfboard I'm riding right now. It's like everything evolves to the point of, where you're at. It's got to be the best one. But there have been a few memorable boards that stuck out. I had a board, I think it was in 1969, that Mike Henson shaped for me. And I rode it at Pipeline a lot. And there's probably the best surf picture ever taken of me is a big bottom turn of Pipeline. It's on that board. And that was one. And my first twin fin in 1970 was a really good one. And then I have one. I'm not riding it right now, but it was, I call it the Blue Board of Happiness. It's a quad. It's a 711. And I was riding it and then I tweaked my back and didn't surf for a month. And then I started paddling on stand-up and I figured, well, I can't get up from my board because my back's bad. So I started surfing on the stand-up. And first I was kind of bummed going, oh, these sweepers, I didn't want to be one of them. But then I started liking it and started designing stand-up paddleboards to surf on, strictly to surf on. And I've gone through a few different shapes and recently made a Bonzer stand-up paddleboard that works great. I call it it's called the Corky Carroll Blue Mango Sup de Ville.
Wow. Okay.
The Sup de Ville.
I'll have a look. Is that available for online for purchase? Is in the website, right?
Yeah, you can go to bluemangosurf.com and check it all out. And I'm working on a follow-up for that called the El Dorado.
Okay. Good. I'll have a look on that. Who's your favorite shaper?
Well, Jose Barahona is shaping on my boards right now. He's a great shaper. He's, shaped for Jacobs and Becker and everybody else. He's a great shaper. Through the years, my favorite shapers were Terry Martin, Mickey Munoz, Mike Henson. I have so many of them. Mark Martinson, Mike Mitchington. But Jose Barahona is making more boards now, and he's really good. Phil Edwards was a great shaper too.
Yeah, definitely. They're amazing legend as well. Personal question: your favorite song?
It would hard to pin down one song, but I can tell you my favorite musicians. I'm a real fan of the Rolling Stones, and I'm also a real fan of the band Honk. Honk is the group that did the soundtrack for Five Summer Stories, and they're a great band. They all went off to do, big things and, after Honk kind of disbanded. Steve Wood is a producer for Sony Music. He has Grammys from working on the IMAX movies with Sting and George Harrison, and they're all great musicians. They get together every year for a reunion concert, and I like to go to those because Honk is one of my favorite bands, and the Stones. I like Jackson Browne. I like the Eagles. I don't know, there's so many. My playlist would be about 100 groups long. ZZ Top, I love, the Allman Brothers.
Amazing selection of legends, right? It's definitely like I could not agree with you. I really like them as well. What's your favorite surf spot?
Well, my favorite surf spot's right in front of our house.
Easy.
It's perfect with Point Break. In the morning. Yeah, I'm really lucky. I've got this like beautiful wife. Like cooks really good and takes care of me. And I get up and I look at the surf, and she goes, "Just paddle out. You can come back." Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm really lucky. I got a super good wife.
Yeah, you definitely, if she tells you like that, you're a lucky man, right? You can leave everything and surf.
She indulges, this stuff, what I do. She's a Zumba teacher. She teaches Zumba, and
okay.
She paddles on the paddleboard, but she doesn't really like to surf because she's afraid of waves. Which is probably good because I get more waves that way.
It's more for you.
You guys out there that are marrying their wives surf, why you just never dropping on your wife or you're like totally screwed. Or not.
Who's your favorite surfer nowadays?
Well, it would be hard not to say Kelly Slater because he's just the best. And he's still going. He's almost 50, and he's, just made the semis of the Pipe Masters. And, as far as he's the one I follow, I don't really follow pro surfing all that much, but when there's an event on and it's on online, I'll kind of pick out when his heats are and watch his heats. And I think John Florence is amazing.
Yeah.
And, there was a guy, he doesn't seem to be in the forefront as much anymore as he was some years ago, named Dane Reynolds. I really like the way he surfed, real powerful and good style. And of course, Ty Lenny. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
He's sort of like, the next coming of Laird Hamilton. These guys go to a completely different level on they're not only great surfers, but they're out there riding mountains. They're riding waves so big. I rode big waves when I was younger, but they're riding waves now that are like way, way, way big.
Yeah. And maybe the solution, not the solution, but the secret is to be a waterman, right? You're not just a surfer.
Exactly. When I was growing up, the watermen were guys like Mike Doyle. He could do everything. He's paddled, was a paddle racer. He surfed tandem. He was a lifeguard. He was in dory races. He was a great surfer, big waves, small waves, body surfer. Those guys, could do it all. And that kind of influenced me. It was him and Mickey Munoz got me into paddleboard racing. And, I did that a number of years and a little bit of the other stuff. I never got quite into the tandem and dory racing, but I paddled and surfed and body surfed a little bit.
Waterman can be a good title for a song, for a book. No? Think about it.
Mike was the kind of the ultimate waterman.
Yeah. Ultimate waterman. That's cool.
Yeah. He was.
Okay. The last question is a little bit unusual, but we ask everybody on the show. And since you talk about your wife, for sure you have a good relationship advice for us.
A happy wife is a happy life. I'm sure you've heard that before. Just keep them happy.
Yes.
The two most important words, a husband has is yes, dear.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Carroll, for being with me on the show today. And I look forward to talk to you very soon. And one day, maybe we will surf together in Mexico.
I hope so.
Thank you so much.
Hi, it's me again. I hope you enjoyed our today's episode. If you want to know more about us, please follow www.thetempleofsurf.com and all our social media. Mahalo!